We're Designing Spaces, the show that's all about you and your space, your home and surroundings. I'm Debbie Marie.
And I'm David Jones. Now, whether you're planning on buying a house or maybe planning on doing some DIY redecorating of where you live right now, this is the show for you.
And as long as we're making the house look better, we'll go outside and give it some curb appeal.
That's right. Indoor, outdoor, or just planning your new home, we've got the important stuff every homeowner should know.
So stick around and see it all right here on Designing Spaces. Sometimes a room makeover can be a fun project, something that adds to style and a personal touch. And no need to move heavy furniture.
And I'm sure all the husbands watching right now are saying, thank you
Yes.
so much.
And all that's needed is the right fabric and some sewing supplies. Take a look at this.
I have a spare bedroom and I have guests coming to stay this summer. And while the room is beautiful, the curtains are a little drab. So I wanted to make new curtains, new pillows, and a new duvet cover. And I've been thinking about it for a while. So I finally made the move and I went to fabric.com. I went through the site and found some fabrics that I really love. First I ordered the swatches, and when they came, I chose the ones that looked great in the bedroom and ordered the fabric online. Days later, the boxes arrived. It was like Christmas. These fabrics are exactly what the room needed. Right then and there, I knew this was going to be fun. I was so happy that Designing Spaces introduced me to Kristl and Shannon from fabric.com. I knew I would have to brush up on my sewing techniques, and they not only had great ideas, but gave me the confidence to take on these sewing projects myself. Okay, so my first question is, what skill level do I need to complete this project? It's been a little while since I've sewn.
Not to worry, this kind of project just requires basic sewing skills because we're dealing mostly with squares and rectangles. All you need to know how to use is a basic sewing machine and a straight stitch.
Oh, that's good to hear. My next question is, how long would it take me to complete a project like this?
Well, it depends on your skill level, but a project like this with all the wonderful things you've chosen, including all the pillows, should only take you a weekend.
Part of the reason I'm doing this is because I was really excited to design my own room, but I'd also like to save money. How much money can I really save by doing this myself?
Well, your fabric is from Premier Print, so it's a very well-priced fabric for your project. And you bought your fabric from fabric.com. We have a 200,000 square foot warehouse filled with fabric for every budget. So I believe, based on your project and what you chose, you'll save about $500.
Oh, I am loving this. I see that you've brought two machines, and I know that's a sewing machine, but can you tell me a little more about this one?
This machine is a serger, and sergers are great because they do 3 steps in one. They sew the seam, and they cut the fabric away from the seam, and they enclose the seam all at the same time. So it's a big time saver. It's not required to have for this project, but it's a really nice addition to have in your sewing room.
Okay, I get it. I think I'm good on the machines. Can we go over some techniques?
The first stitch we're going to go over is a basic straight stitch. 2 key points to remember about the straight stitch is you want to make sure and back stitch. This is going to lock in your seam and make sure it doesn't come unraveled. The second thing you want to remember is your seam allowance. You want to make sure you give yourself enough room and keep it nice and straight. The second stitch we're going to go over is a zigzag stitch. And you're going to sew your zigzag stitch right alongside your straight stitch. This is going to prevent unraveling and enclose your seam. Now, we talked about the serger a few minutes ago, and remember, it's not required for this project, but we still wanted to show you all the benefits that it has. As you can see, it's sewing the seam, it's cutting the fabric away, and it's finishing the seam allowance all at the same time.
All right, Ashley, it's time to transform that bedroom. Let's get started.
pleased with my guest bedroom makeover, and my sewing skills came back to me quickly. I learned a lot of new techniques. Seriously, it's not that difficult, and in fact, I found it relaxing and a great way to unwind. Kristl and Shannon showed me a section of the website called Creativity Headquarters where I can get ideas for future projects. I'm even thinking about making clothes for the kids or trying quilting. Thank you, Designing Spaces, and thank you, Fabric.com.
To learn more and see the wide choices of fabrics and sewing supplies, visit Fabric.com. Also, visit DesigningsPaces.tv, where you can see this portion of the show again by clicking on the appropriate video screen. You'll also find a link to Fabric.com there. Join in the conversation on Facebook at Facebook.com/DSpacesTV.
Three great topics on the show today, and we're out of time.
And you know, all the stories were really different,
Yeah.
and somehow, Debbie, you pulled it off. It really worked well together. We'll have more for you real soon.
Yes, I'm Debbie Marie.
And I'm David Jones. We'll see you later.
Bye for now.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.